But Matt, you've just announced your squad for the upcoming Euro qualifiers against Belgium and Austria. How happy with the group you put together?
Well, I'm always delighted with the selection of players that we have within this nation. We've got huge amounts of depth at the moment in every age group, and it's always challenging making sure that we have the right pathway, we make the right decisions for certain personnel within the age groups to make sure that, one, they're challenged, they're stimulated in the right way, but also it's given ourselves an opportunity to do well and be productive in the game. So for the benefit of all the age groups, you'll see a lot of movement within the intermediate teams, hopefully for the right reasons, to make sure that we're being as constructive as possible for these players' international careers.
There's a few welcome returns to the squad for obviously Archie Harris, Lewys Benjamin, and obviously first call up as well for Dakarai Mafico as well. Just talk me through them decisions.
Yeah, well, we're delighted to be able to call up Archie. Obviously, the misfortune that he had only the evening of coming into the last window, where he suffered a seizure and a horrific scenes, obviously at Eastleigh, where he's on loan from Bournemouth. But we're really pleased to see that he recovered instantly. He's been back on the grass and he's featured in 3 games since as well. So it gives us great pleasure really to bring Archie back in. We've been in really close dialogue with the club, Archie himself and his parents, because you'd never want any player to go through those experiences. Very much similar to Alex Williams, who picked up an unfortunate injury the first day of camp. So we just wish those players well, and like you said, you know, in Archie's situation, he's been able to recover really quickly, and it's given us the opportunity to bring him back in. Thierry's been in a great place. He's obviously captured a loan move to Real Union over in Spain, and I think it's a really good opportunity for him to elevate himself into senior football. It's been an opportunity he's been crying out for a number of years, and I think Villa have supported him really well in terms of maximising that opportunity. And for Dak, I think we all know the excitement around Dak. You know, a really intelligent footballer, one that's really versatile, really mobile, really athletic, and has technical ability that will help us, I suppose, in the long run. I think when you see that the players are getting the trust and the faith from senior managers, I think it goes a long way in terms of instilling confidence into the players, and that's what we're seeing with Dak at the moment. Where he is playing, he's playing with an abundance of confidence.
For this camp as well, they've got the senior experience of Charlie Crew and Kai Andrews dropping down from the seniors as well. Just how much a boost is it to have them back in the squad as well?
It's a huge boost having Charlie and Kai playing in their own age group. You know, we speak about this often, about that transition between age groups, and to have that senior exposure and the opportunity and the experience to be around Craig and our national team is immense. You know, we can only wish for those opportunities for all our players. Kai and Charlie, what I can guarantee is a level of humility. They're wonderful human beings, so they'll take to this quite seamlessly in terms of playing in their own age group. But you know, we'll often speak about that leadership opportunity now for them to showcase, I suppose, their role model behaviours on and off the pitch. You know, that professionalism, the reason why they've got recognition, the reason why they've had those opportunities, and they both come back. Kai from making his debut, obviously, and Charlie his second appearance and a start in our national team. So it's a huge privilege to have those players representing now our 21s, and it can only strengthen what we do. They'll be managed in the best way possible, and hopefully, you know, there is that sense of belonging that makes it seamless for them to dip in and out of different age groups and different environments. But that alignment, I think we've worked so close. Myself and Craig have spoken a lot about what it should be looking like on and off the grass. So, you know, I'm really excited for their return to their age group. But the biggest thing is it's an opportunity for more international exposure for those two lads.
The big bonus going to the last camp was the game time players of clubs, and obviously the importance of that. We've seen the players secure loan moves as well since the last squad announcement in September. I guess that just puts you in a strong place now going to this camp as well.
Yeah, I think the opportunities given to players at clubs, we have to rely on that because it puts us in a much healthier place when those players come in to the international window. And we often see that the benefits that we're able to reap because of their fitness levels, their experiences by making that step to senior football, which we know is a huge step for some. Some make it easier than others. But it's the fact that they're having these opportunities, and what we've learned over the last couple of years is that the more players who get those experiences, we see the improvement of our intensity, our level of quality that we can sort of sustain, in any given game. So yeah, that's only making us stronger as a nation, the fact that these players are having their opportunities. So our thanks go out to the clubs of trusting these young players and giving them those opportunities to progress their careers.
Just reflecting back on the September camp, obviously difficult result in the end against the top seeds Denmark. But I suppose you can take a lot of confidence from that performance and a lot of positives from there. But I guess the main message with this camp is to return the winning ways, I suppose, as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we take a lot of pride on winning mentality. We speak about, our competitiveness within our environment on and off the pitch, whether that's training environments, whether it's game day. So yes, of course, it's a dent to belief, it's a dent to confidence initially. But I think once we assess the game and seen the amount of, incredible moments, I suppose, initially in that game, I think the biggest question is we're asking players to adapt to a new style of play, and a Welsh way that Craig has introduced, which is phenomenally exciting. It excites every coaching member of staff. It excites the players. But I think the question is how long we can sustain that for in any given game. And against top seeds, in the 21s or any younger age groups, we have to sort of be sensible of how much we push our players to sustain that level of aggression, tenacity, and best practice is obviously to do that for 90 plus minutes. But in the younger age groups, I think we have to have a consideration of where that intensity drops and where we see a suffer of quality and decision making and the impact of fatigue, etc. So that's been a big discussion, post camp, and a huge reflection on our part. But it fills me with confidence knowing that this way of playing has given us huge amounts of success. For that 30-minute period against the top seeds in Denmark, we really went toe-to-toe. We were able to capitalise and score 2 goals. So it put us in a position probably we've never been in before. And that's what's exciting about this period we're going through.
Belgium, of course, now first up in the October camp. Another tough game to continue the qualifying journey. Just sort of what challenges sort of expect from them next week?
Yeah, it doesn't get easier, does it? Belgium next, then Austria. These are the top seed teams that we want to challenge ourselves against, and we've often spoken about the right level of challenge, and we have to be sensible with that as well. I think in our preparation window, we had Norway, we had Sweden, albeit we had Andorra for different reasons. And Craig's spoken about that a lot as well in terms of being used to having periods with the ball, but being used to playing against teams with high levels of intensity and being without the ball as well. So putting those games in place allowed us to explore with that and to get used to it and try and perfect what we do in terms of when we defend from a mid-block and read those triggers to jump out and press, whether it's our dead ball press, whether it's defending the box. It's all the principles that we're trying to instill and to become a lot more aligned with what the first team are doing and getting success with. So when we face the likes of Belgium, we know what they're going to bring, and that's a huge amount of individual brilliance, individual players throughout their team that can rip you apart. So we need to be aware of that. But also they're going to be well structured and hard to break down at times as well. So there are moments in the game that we've sort of honed in on that we can maximise, and it's up to the players to make sure that we take our chances when presented them.
We've spoken a lot about momentum, how important that is, particularly in the international window. With the 2 games now in this October camp, how crucial are these 2 results as well?
Yeah, I think there's an element of getting massive buy-in with what you're doing. And I think at the moment we're seeing glimpses of quality, we're seeing glimpses of success, you know, and for periods that really excite us, you know, when we're at the side of the pitch and we're managing that, and when the players are feeling that on the pitch. But I think the biggest thing that we need to conquer is to get that success for longer periods in a game, and for sustained periods. And I think that's what will instill this team belief and cohesion that we all try to master, I suppose, in the game of football. You know, that's what really gets the buy-in. That's what really drives self-confidence and team confidence. And I think that's probably the next step for us. Of course, winning mentality and winning games is going to give you that. But, you know, I'd spoken a lot prior to this campaign about a level of suffering and a level of pain we may have to go through. Now, we've already experienced that against Denmark. Yes, there was moments of success, but there was heavy suffering in terms of the defeat and the scoreline. So we need to rectify that, and we need to reinstill that belief into the players, knowing that what we're doing is for the long term, is for the narrative of those players stepping into a senior environment and being able to do what's being asked for right now under our current manager, Craig Bellamy.